Hello guys, so today I'm going to give you a quick demo of how to use QuenchSea. Before I do that, I'm just going to mention a few things. So firstly, multiple factors come into play in desalination. So when you are using your QuenchSea device to produce clean water for drinking, make sure that you sample it before you start drinking it. And if it's not palatable, it tastes a little bit salty, you might need to do a bit more desalination first. Okay, and other things are when you are first using this product, you need to prime the RO membrane. The way you do that is that you pump the lever for about 5 to 10 minutes, and what you will see in your clean water bottle is a yellow water, and that's just cleaning the membrane. And the other factor to mention is that every time you use it after storage, you will need to do that again, but for a shorter duration. So for example, if I'm going to use a QuenchSea device today and then go home and use it tomorrow evening, I will prime for a few minutes, discard the fresh water produced, and then after that, any further fresh water produced is suitable for drinking. There's another thing to mention also, is underneath the pressure gauge here is a silver air release valve. If you twist that anti-clockwise, it opens it. What this does is it releases any air bubbles that are in the system that might stop you from pumping efficiently. And when you do that, also water will come out with it. Make sure you tighten it clockwise to close it again so you can generate and build pressure for your desalination. And finally, when you're actually in the process of pumping the lever and producing pressure, you will hear a noise as the process takes place, and that's normal, so don't be alarmed by that. Obviously we're doing it inside a quiet room, but if you're going to be doing it outside, you might not really realise that. Okay, so we're going to talk about some of the consumables, pre-installed things and things that you need to install yourself. So firstly, you've got the QuenchSea RO membrane. This comes pre-installed in the device. You don't need to do anything with that, but at some point you might need to replace that, okay, in the lifespan of the product. The other thing to mention is we've got some QuenchSea silicone lubricant. Now what that does is it's used for any moving parts. Again, when the device is brand new, it's not required, but later on in its life you might need to use it for some of the moving parts. Okay, now the other thing that's pre-installed as well is an inlet tube. So this is the only tube that you'll find that's pre-installed when you unbox your device. However, the key thing to note is that the pre-filter, you will have to install this yourself. It's very simple, it comes in a little bag and you put it at the end of the tube. Now when you are about to engage in the desalination process, you need to ensure that this pre-filter is fully immersed in the seawater. Now that's a key point. If you are not fully immersing this and it's halfway in, what you'll be doing essentially is sucking air and water into the system, which is going to make your life difficult. Okay, now there's two tubes also to install. One is the wastewater tube, which basically collects the reject brine water into this bottle, and you can also put a tube into the back for collecting your clean, fresh drinking water. Now, if you feel like it, you don't have to put a tube in the back, and you can put a container behind the back, and that will just collect the water for you to drink. Okay, and finally is the lever. Now this comes in the box with the device. You just need to ensure that you screw it on. It's just in a clockwise fashion, and you feel the resistance once it's fully on. Okay, so now we're going to engage in the desalination process. So ensure your dominant hand is on top of the QuenchSea device. You can either push down on it or grab onto the handle. If you feel like it, you can put a rubber non-slip mat underneath the device just to make your life a little bit easier, and start pumping. Now you've got a pressure gauge here telling us what pressure we're generating, and at the moment we're at about 45 bar. Okay, now it might be that the valve's closed. Good. So our inlet tube with a pre-filter is fully immersed in seawater, and you can hear the noise from the desalination process. We've got waste brine water being generated, and we've also got clean water to drink in the back bottle. I'll just do this for a couple of seconds, and then I'll show you what we've got. Okay, so I'm just going to remove this bottle. Now that's your clean water, which has now been, all the salts have been removed, and this is suitable for drinking. And you can see also in this bottle that we started to collect some of the waste brine water. Okay, perfect.